Thank you, darling.
C'était un android de Cyberlife. Oh non, pitié. Pas Cyberlife.
Malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Ah, est-ce qu'on va avoir une double narration?
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
On l'appelle chasseur. C'est bon, par contre on n'a pas le temps de lire ce qui se passe en dessous. Ah sinon j'ai installé aussi...
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Carabine argenterie. Du coup, ouais, j'ai aussi téléchargé... comment ça s'appelle? Donc les armes dorées, hein, elles sont plus puissantes et tout ça. Merde, comment ça s'appelle? Burnout Paradise. Donc on pourra se faire de temps en temps des live Burnout Paradise où on fait n'importe quoi.
Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Effectivement, elle est violente. Hein. Faisais pas les cons, je sais qu'il y a un secret.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. You just gotta wait for such bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
Le plaisir de voir qu'après 6 mois de sortie, le Fighter toujours à 60 balles en magasin. Ah bah oui, c'est un jeu Dragon Ball, hein. Faut pas déconner.
He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Alors que Diablo 3 était à 40 balles. Ils ont même fait la trilogie Diablo sur PS4, mais il n'y avait pas le prix. Ah, la trilogie? Bon, ça, genre. Mais qui va jouer à Diablo 1 et 2 sur PS4?
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch! Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that. You can run, but you can't hide forever.
Ah, mais je me cache pas. Je ne me cache pas. Pas envie. On va reprendre les flingues quand même, juste au cas où. Si j'ai le droit, non.
You better hide.
Vincent, mon fils de pute, hein, quoi?
Over there.
Ah! J'ai pas fait gaffe.
Over there. That's Silas Greaves. What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves.
J'ai touché personne.
When the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid.
Ah, d'accord.
That just wasn't the way it happened.
Non, mais je savais même pas qu'ils avaient remis le 1 et le 2, parce qu'ils doivent être dégueulasses en plus sur PS4. Après, en vrai, Diablo 3 sur PS4, le gameplay est bien fait. C'est-à-dire que dans Diablo 3, tu te déplaces à la souris, et en gros, avec clic gauche, tu te déplaces, t'as un clic pour se déplacer, un clic pour viser. Et là, en gros, viser pour tirer, c'est avec le stick droit, et se déplacer avec le stick gauche. Du coup, en fait, t'as juste à activer tes attaques avec les touches, et tu vises avec le stick droit, en fait. Donc, je trouve que il est mieux... Enfin, le gameplay est plus intéressant sur PS4 que sur PC, au final. Enfin, la manette est bien mise à profit, je trouve. Après, le 1 et le 2, je sais pas s'ils ont fait pareil. J'espère que oui. Donc la vraie histoire. Alors ça, c'est les emplacements où il faut passer en fait, hein, tout ce qui est orange.
Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Bob Emmett et Grat Dalton. Toute ressemblance avec leur cousin est purement fortuite.
And finally they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Now you're in trouble. You ain't bothering me none.
Des os. Ah non, c'est moi mon fils de pute. C'était Diablo 3 et ses extensions. Ah oui, non, c'est Diablo 3 et ses extensions. Oui, là on est d'accord. Là, je vois de quoi tu parles. Oui.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions.
Oui, c'est le pack Diablo 3 complet, quoi. complet sauf avec le
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them.
avec le nécro,
Problem
je
was,
crois. Je
they
crois qu'il n'y a
knew
pas
the
de
town
nécro.
better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons, and they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons, which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Tout va bien. Personne. J'espère que les mouvements sont pas trop enfin pas trop la gerbe. Je sais qu'il y a des gens qui ont du mal. Pas forcément quand ils jouent mais quand ils regardent les gens jouer.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up.
Donc j'espère que ça va.
Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Alors, Jean-Michel Dalton. Par là.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Send you to the bone orchard. You are dead, law dog. It's hard.
Tout va bien.
I'm gonna tear you apart. That all you got? I'll blow your damn head clean off. You messed with the wrong damn Dalton. God damn, that was loud. I'm gonna cut you in half. Gonna beat you like
Tout va
a
bien.
red-headed stepchild.
Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had
Bon, j'ai
grit.
peut-être raté la tête à la fin, on sait pas. Deux carabines à canon scié, mais oui! Ah oui, parce que c'est un talent, ça, en fait, le double... Oui, voilà. Akimbo Pistolero. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir double... Non, on peut pas avoir double carabine. C'est C'est pas... comment ça s'appelle? C'est pas Wolfenstein. Parce que oui, dans Wolfenstein, on peut tenir 2 snipers en même temps, c'est n'importe quoi. Mais c'est drôle. Ça va, Orion? Tu fais miaou? Elle ne veut pas faire miaou.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Put
Meow.
you to the ends of the earth.
Oh,
They seemed
meow.
as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Ouais, maintenant on peut rigoler. Miaou. Oh.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
By my recollection, it was damp and foggy as hell.
Et hop, le brouillard. C'est plutôt stylé la mise en scène.
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide. Pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them in the swamp. Plant them where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone.
Paf.
I wondered
Buff.
why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet. But I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Heureusement, je l'ai pas touché.
You ain't beating me, boy.
Quand même. Quand même.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Du riffraff.
Point being, I was under serious attack.
Voilà, ça c'est un Dalton de moins.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Ok, voilà. C'est bien d'avoir débloqué ça quand même. Hein. La contre-attaque.
Bury them in the swamp. I'm fine, I'm fine. God damn you, Green!
La contre-attaque après une esquive. C'est vachement bien.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Les fameuses granges qui se matérialisent.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon... Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians? They were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
C'est important de se reposer les
Where
yeux.
was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunter! Stop that, so
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or
Yeah.
Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Bam! Tu vas faire quoi maintenant que t'es mort? Petit cimetière, hein.
Somebody kill that son bitch!
Il est où celui qui me tirait dessus depuis tout à l'heure? Petite dynamite. Voilà. Ça pique. Il y a un mec qui me tire dessus à droite. Hein. Oh, les couilles. Les fameux couilles shots. Hein. Ça pique. Ça pique, mais ça va. Oh! Oui, il m'a fait un peu mal. Hein. J'avoue, c'était douloureux. Genre!
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
Un bateau à vapeur.
In a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board.
Génial.
It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Des visages familiers. Tout va bien.
Where'd you learn that? Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Ah ouais, non, mais tu m'as fait tomber aussi. Ah mais ne tombe pas 4 fois. Un peu de respect. Il y a une pépite.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature.
Des os.
Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Si, il est tombé. Il est mort de la chute, je crois.
You better hide.
Dalton. Pardon.
Right about then, much to my relief,
Des
the
os.
vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. Huh. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out.
Que va?
Sending you to hell.
The Daltons had played me
Not
like
so
a
tough
fiddle.
after all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. but finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a
It
challenge.
was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Ah bah dis donc, bonjour. J'ai plein de pruneaux hein, à distribuer.
Bob and Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time.
Ah,
They were in this together.
vise les rotules. Ouais, je vise un peu tout. Hein.
Two brothers side by side, determined to
Oh putain, là,
take
c'est
me
chaud.
down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
D'accord, donc c'est le deuxième, celui du fond en premier. Waouh, chaud. Ah oui, c'est vrai qu'on peut éviter les balles. J'oublie à chaque fois. J'oublie à chaque fois qu'on peut éviter les balles. Je reconnais qu'ils sont endormis sur le stream. C'est pas grave, ça fait des viewers quand même. Merde. J'aurais pu lui mettre une balle. J'ai pas eu le temps. Je rappelle que c'est pas évident. Faut avoir un bon niveau de focalisation. Ah bon, faut vraiment se mettre à droite en fait.
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds.
Tendu.
Almost 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived
C'est vrai
off
que le
the
dernier
legend
frère
that
Dalton,
fateful day.
il a aussi fait l'acteur.
And the tragic death of his two brothers.
C'est quand même pas facile, hein, merde. Les duels. Explosion plus grande. Envoie des bâtons de dynamite. Ah, pas tellement. Heureusement que t'as 18 vies. Bah, comme c'est lui qui raconte l'histoire, en fait, forcément, il a gagné, quoi. C'est comme Prince of Persia.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy."
Yeah.
Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Et oui, maintenant on sait pourquoi. Des rails sur la prairie. Ah, trop bien. Oh oui, il est génial celui-là. J'adore ce niveau. C'est mon niveau préféré, je crois.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
Ça me gratte l'œil.
They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that some bitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Non mais tout va bien. Ha! Alors c'est pas ça qu'il fallait faire. Fallait juste marcher là en fait.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
Goddamn Pinkerton!
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Vous écartez de l'histoire. Ah, pardon. Du coup, là, c'est dirigiste, mais c'est fait exprès et c'est justifié par le scénario.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Salut, hein. Alors, j'aime ce niveau pas que parce que c'est un couloir et que du coup tu rigoles bien. Mais c'est vrai qu'il y a un peu de ça.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Time to fill you full of lead.
Ça pique. Par où je passe? Par là.
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Je crois qu'ils sont morts. Oui, ils sont morts. Et j'ai ouvert tous les coffres, et ça c'est beau. Ah, oui.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
L'agence Pinkerton. Hein. Des mercenaires, hein, basiquement.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? He's out of his mind! Dynamite now! Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody!
Oui.
He'll kill us all!
Nom des styles. La pépite. On m'a dit qu'il y avait une pépite. Et voilà. La pépite. Alors ça m'aide pas. C'était bien par là. Ah non, c'est moi qui suis con.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Can't hear you.
Livraison de pruneaux, hein, comme d'habitude. On aime ça. Ce mec est un psychopathe, c'est vrai. Il y a quelque chose comme ça, oui. J'ai cassé le train.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Ah, d'accord. Effectivement, il est un peu rapide. Alors, le jeu est sorti vers à genre 15 balles, un truc comme ça. Je crois que c'est ça.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Une heure 30 pour l'enfer. Je pense que ce sera la dernière du live. Ça dépend combien de temps ça dure.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, because I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Bon, c'est des couloirs, mais c'est des jolis couloirs.
That Kid Curry's kind of crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Who's shooting at? We're under fire!
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Ça pique. Paf.
Old Bob
Désolé, je
wasn't
t'ai
among
coupé.
them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Des indices. Oh!
And I found one.
Ils ont fait un
map
plan.
with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Ici, il va falloir désamorcer les bombes.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me.
Tout va bien se passer. On n'a pas peur du vide, hein, ça va.
The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
La narration est géniale.
Blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Damn it! What the hell?
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off.
Ah.
It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Tout va bien. Donc on peut suivre quand même les comment dire, les fils de dynamite. Ah merde, je m'ai fait tuer. Ah oui, j'avais plus de bullet time, enfin d'esquive parfaite. Ouh.
Hell's a coming. I'm dead. So are you. It's twice as dangerous. You ready for a belly full of buckshot?
Ah merde, ça ne marche pas. Ok. Puis on reprend du début. Deux mecs avec une seule balle, hein. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? Ah bon, toi t'es mort. Tout va bien.
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Il était un peu compliqué à gérer lui. Du coup toi je t'ai vraiment bien tué. Hein. Ah oui, pas mal. Hein. Il est posé quoi. Il est bien posé.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Tout va bien.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Parfait. Fou. J'ai plus de balles par contre. Encore des balles de Colt. Ça va. Voilà.
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Ouais, je vais pouvoir aller le chercher, je pense. Non, je m'en fous. Je veux juste cette échelle. Qu'est-ce que je fous là? Hein? Donc ça c'était clairement pas le bon chemin, c'était juste pour aller chercher le bidule. C'est vraiment un bon niveau. Ah j'aime bien moi. Ils ont fait des trucs cool. Le jeu est cool, il est pas ouf. Voilà, ça casse pas trois pattes à un canard, mais le jeu est bien pensé quoi. Ah, il va falloir que je monte tout en haut en fait. Eh oui. J'aurais pu tout rush. Comment je peux passer là? Là, je suis déjà passé ici, ça c'est le début du niveau en fait. Et là alors que j'ai dit que le niveau était pas mal, je vais me perdre. Ok, là c'est ici que je suis tombé. Ça, c'est au cas où tu te casses la gueule, tu peux revenir. Est-ce que c'est vraiment ça? Je suis un connard. Je suis un connard. Voilà.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Il y a un secret. Je m'en fous, il y a un secret.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. A course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
Bon, je vais juste aller récupérer ce... Le secret que j'ai pas réussi à choper. À cause du timer. Ah bah si, je l'avais eu en fait. Ok. En ayant un peu le décor quand même, parce que mine de rien... C'est pas oufissime, hein, mais... pour un jeu qui était à une quinzaine de balles, c'est pas mal quand même.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore. Of course, I had
Connard.
to tread carefully.
J'ai sauté trop tard.
Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Alors que j'avais même pas besoin de prendre d'élan en fait.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to perdition!
I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Beast Tracer and Kid Curry asked me! Nuttier than a damn fruitcake!
Tout va bien. Ils sont grimpés. On peut pas.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Super.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Ah merde. Ah. Si c'est une chance sur deux, ça va assez vite au final. Hein. Ça pique.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
C'est le petit frère de la sauce. Petite curry? Peut-être, ouais.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself.
Mais qui? Quoi? Comment ça? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Il y avait un mec derrière moi? Ah oui, en appuyant sur le bouton, je peux séparer les... J'allais dire séparer les grenades.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Ok. D'abord, je suis mort, puis je suis revenu à la vie. Dommage. Chaque fois j'oublie d'esquiver. N'empêche, ils te disent en combien de dixièmes de seconde t'as réagi. Hein. C'est assez ouf. Hein. Enfin, en combien de centièmes même. Ah, c'était de l'autre côté. « 0,333 secondes. » Ah mais en plus, le système de duel, il est, au final, il est assez complexe et assez fouillé, quoi. C'est pas juste lol, le premier qui dégaine, il a gagné, quoi. Faut aussi viser. Faut être rapide, bien viser. Oh. Ah oui, d'accord, d'accord. 0,5 c'est trop. Hein. Faut être rapide, faut bien viser, etc. Et à la manette, ça doit être génial. Hein. Ah merde! C'est con, je l'avais eu. Donc faut pas que je téléphone trop mon esquive, quoi. Après, je peux être un sac à merde et tirer tout de suite, mais... Vous n'avez même pas réagi. Vous pouvez dégainer le premier, mais l'histoire se souviendra de vous comme dans l'âge, c'est ça. Donc si tu tires en premier, en fait, si t'attends pas qu'il dégaine, tu gagnes moins de points. Ça rend le truc encore plus difficile. Sinon, ouais, dès que j'ai les battements de cœur, je peux tirer, mais... Ah bah d'accord. Attends, là, j'ai dégainé vite. 0,4, d'accord. 0, putain, mais 0,333 et il m'a défoncé. Je crois qu'on va y aller comme un sac. Du coup, avec ma souris, j'essaie de rester sur lui. Et avec Z et... Enfin, avec les directions, j'essaie de rester à une bonne vitesse de flingue.
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Bon, je l'ai touché avant que sa balle m'atteigne, du coup ça m'a pas tué, mais normalement je crois que j'étais
As
mort.
he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Et oui, il y avait une séquence
Those were
bonus.
his last words.
La focalisation presque 80%, hein. La vitesse 47%. Donc plus on a une vitesse haute dans les duels, plus on va dégainer vite évidemment. Et ben on va pouvoir s'arrêter là, ça fait quand même 3 heures. J'ai un point. Bien, je vais mettre là. Échec et mat. Concentration lors des combos. Descendez plusieurs ennemis de suite pour recouvrir votre attention, votre barre de concentration. Oh, trop bien. Et on a débloqué le quick shooter en ivoire. Donc ça c'est cool.